Welcome back to First Up, the first stop in your busy day. We've been hearing tales of woe for the last how many months about how bad the economy is, how gloomy things look on the global front. But in the midst of all of that chaos, and all that crisis, there may still be opportunities for brave investors. And that's what we're going to be looking at in this next segment with our friends from the Unitrust Corporation. They're going to be having their inaugural investor conference. That's going to be happening in September at the Hyatt, September 8th and 9th. And this conference is entitled Reset Your Investment Strategy for Growth. The Chinese character for crisis is also the same character, which means opportunity. So within every crisis, you can find an opportunity. And I would love to hear from Omar and Wendy exactly what kinds of opportunities we actually have to grow money when things are looking so bad. So thank you very much.
Good morning.
For joining us this morning.
Pleasure is always ours.
The UTC, your light in financial darkness.
Well said. Well said.
Indeed.
UTC is hosting this inaugural investor conference September 8th and 9th. Why this conference? Obviously, inaugural means it's going to be an annual event or biannual event.
Yes, it's our first event, conference that UTC is going to host. And why we're going to have this event, this conference, is because we want to provide insights into the latest developments and best practices in the investment environments to our investors. Also, we want to have our renowned speakers explore critically on the emerging issues that can affect investors internationally, locally, and regionally. And more so for our investors to come and have a forum to be frank and open, have discussions, frank and open discussions on investment opportunities.
Omar, the conference is entitled Reset Your Investment Strategy for Growth. Now, no doubt that was carefully thought out what that focus is going to be. Tell us about that in some more detail.
Well, Paul, and as Jesse started, there's always an opportunity, regardless of what is happening. And as you rightly said, the conference theme, Resetting Your Investment Strategy for Growth, we understand that in 2008, 2010, the world went through recession. People have to start thinking of new ways to start back up. In other words, you want to reboot your portfolio. You want to keep what you have, improve on what you have, and ensure that you have something for the future. And that is exactly what we'll be discussing at the conference. Each of these speakers, for example, 3 of our keynote speakers are Professor Joseph Stiglitz. He's a Nobel Prize-winning economist at Columbia University. Ali Veltri, he's an anchor of CNN. And Paula Boyer-Kennedy, who is a subject matter expert on investing, will all be there to help investors who come reboot and reset their investment strategy, because things have changed dramatically. We need to keep up with those changes.
And what you're saying as well, we want them to ignite and have confidence in the investment market. So that's why we have this caliber of subject matter experts coming to assist in clearing that up.
In terms of the material that they'd be sharing with us, they're coming from what you'd consider pretty sophisticated economies. So what can they tell us about looking for opportunities in our market, which is probably where they were about 50, 60 years ago?
Correct. Well, where things are globally, we in Trinidad and Tobago, of course, are not immune to what's going on outside. And because the financial markets are so close, things hit us actually a lot faster. So a lot of things we are going through are very similar to what they are going through now. So we would need, therefore, to ensure that the things that we get from them are in line with what is going on here in Trinidad. And because they are out there, because they're in the markets, they completely understand what is going on and how it can affect us. So we anticipate that the information we'll be getting from them will be right on target for what's going on in Trinidad.
We're going to focus also on stock markets and mutual funds. So they're going to come with global trends in both those investment markets.
One of the things that Jessie started with that really piqued my imagination was the fact that she said the Chinese symbol for crisis is the same one for opportunity. And that speaks to a cultural mindset of a people, and they understand that within every crisis lies an opportunity. We come from a particularly different background in Trinidad, where we've been sometimes so accustomed to good times. We tend not to be creative in the lean times where there are those opportunities. How is this conference going to help us change our mindset in that way, either of you?
Well, in terms of creating opportunities, we talk about diversification. And I know that persons think that there's nothing happening locally, but we are bringing persons from London, we're bringing persons from New York, we're bringing persons from the region, Guyana, and we are bringing them together to show us how we can actually diversify our portfolios in varied markets and look for opportunities there. We're talking about opportunities in real estate. We're talking about looking at capitalizing on global trends. We're talking also about cutting-edge techniques in asset allocation. How do you actually allocate your assets to have that return that you want for growth? Because again, to go back to the theme of our conference is for investment growth. We're setting your strategy for investment growth, and our caliber of speakers will bring that to light.
In terms of the strategies for investment growth that we're used to, that are tried, true, and tested, let's run through a couple of those before we think about hitting the reset button.
Okay.
And as we run through those tried, true, and tested strategies, let's figure out, given what's happening in the world today, what we may need to think twice about now. So traditionally.
Correct.
Okay.
First start, ensure you have an emergency fund. Anything can happen. So 1, emergency fund. 2, ensure that your portfolio is diversified. That is critical because, as you said, there are always opportunities in various markets. So emergency fund, diversification, and ensure that you keep going back to your original goals. So yes, start an emergency fund, be diversified, and have goals, and keep relooking those goals because things change all the time.